Every small business hits that point where spreadsheets start to fall apart. You're bouncing between tabs.
ProPresenter version 18 has been released, and it brought some issues with it. Fortunately, those issues have been fixed by the amazing team at Renewed Vision. So with that said, version 18 of ProPresenter has been released, and it has brought some important updates, such as the compatibility with the new macOS 15 Sequoia, released in September of 2024. Inside the slide editor, they have updated the editor toolbar, which is now located at the top of the slide. Going back to the Show tab, we now have a new windowed outputs mode to preview screens and drag them between displays, which is really neat. The big new feature with this update, I guess Sequoia is a big deal, but the big new feature of this update is Aircast receiving. ProPresenter now has an Aircast receiver that has been built in as an input source in ProPresenter. This means we can connect devices to ProPresenter just like you're connecting to an Apple TV. Remember that video I made a while back that shows how to use the NDI toolkit, which is a protocol to send video over the network. In this case, in the case of the video, I used it to send the screen of my Mac or PC over the network to be received by ProPresenter. The purpose behind this technique was to show an interactive web page, which you can't really do inside of ProPresenter. That way we could have somebody moving the mouse to Mac screen without that additional software. There are also ways to make this work on Windows to send a PC computer to ProPresenter. It works the same way on the receiving ProPresenter side, where you create an Aircast input instead of that NDI input. On my iPhone, I ought to swipe down, go down to the bottom right to the little screen mirroring setting. I will select ProPresenter Aircast.
Do you know what's really fun? Making a website on Wix.
And there's no password enabled on the computer. You could set that right there. And now I can see it pop up in the preview window. Go ahead, and now I can see it mirroring inside of ProPresenter on my computer. So I can go and check my calendar. I can go look at photos. Here's a cute little minion. At our church, somebody lost their package, so I sent out this picture to ask if anyone knew whose it was. So we could swipe through pictures. This is the package in question. Very random. So now I can actually use this, though, I can also adjust the audio just like normal if you need to send audio from this device. So now I can use it as a normal input by going down to the media bin. If that's missing, just click on media. It'll open up the media bin, go down to video input. And now I can click the plus. Now I can select my iPhone as input number 3. And if I click on it, you can see it popped up on the output. But on the main screen, it's covered by these two layers. So there it is. And as I swipe through the pictures, you can see it coming through live, which is really cool. So here's a video of our stage. I was setting up some pixel sticks for this weekend. Should have done a time lapse. That would have been way more exciting. But there they are, all set up. We can use that as a background behind our content, just like normal. So it's really cool having AirPlay, Aircast right inside of ProPresenter. And there's some settings we can change. We can set a password to make sure that only authorized devices get access. You can also, we can set the audio to come straight from the video, embedded into the Aircast, or we can set a specific audio source. So Aircast, really cool. I think there's some great uses for this. And now I'll just go ahead and stop mirroring, and it should disconnect. And there it goes. The next
Blueberries and honey may be the secret to naturally preventing Alzheimer's and early dementia.
I raise a hallelujah in the presence of my enemies. I raise a hallelujah louder than the unbelief. I raise a hallelujah. My weapon is a melody. I raise a hallelujah. Heaven comes to fight
Testing, testing. Okay, oh, hang on, let me zoom in the camera. All right, testing, testing. Okay, let's see. Okay, here, I'll do this. It began with the forging of the great rings. 3 were given to the elves, immortal, wisest, and fairest of all beings. 7 to the dwarf lords, great miners and craftsmen of the mountain halls. And 9 rings were given to the race of men, who above all else desire power. For within these rings was bound the strength and will to govern each race. But they were all of them deceived, for another ring was made. In the land of Mordor, in the fires of Mount Doom, the Dark Lord Sauron forged in secret a master ring to control all others. And into this ring he poured his cruelty, his malice, and his will to dominate all life. One ring to rule them all. Sorry. One by one, free lands of Middle-earth fell to the power of the ring. But there were some who resisted. A lost alliance of men and elves marched to the armies of Mordor, and on the slopes of Mount Doom, they fought for the freedom of Middle-earth. Whole battle. Hello? No, we're just doing an audio test. I'm quoting the entire prologue of Lord of the Rings. Yeah, go ahead. We're just running an audio test because we're testing a thing for the streams upstairs. So yeah, I'm just in here by myself quoting Lord of the Rings. Let's see. Where was I? It was in this moment, when all hope had faded, that Isildur, son of the king, took up his father's sword. Cut the ring off, la-di-da-di-da. Sauron, the enemies of the free people of Middle-earth, was defeated. The ring passed to Isildur, who had this one chance to destroy evil forever. But the hearts of men are easily corrupted, and the ring of power has a will of its own. Da-da-da, Isildur jumps into the water. It betrayed Isildur to his death. And some things that should not have been forgotten were lost. History became legend, legend became myth, and for 2,500 years the ring passed out of all knowledge, until when chance came, it ensnared a new bearer. The ring came to the creature Gollum, who took it deep into the tunnels of the misty mountains, and there it consumed him. The ring brought to Gollum unnatural long life. For 500 years it poisoned his mind, and in the gloom of Gollum's cave it waited. Darkness crept back into the forests of the world from, I can't remember. Darkness crept back into the forests of the world. Rumor grew of a shadow in the east, whispers of a nameless fear. And the ring of power perceived. Its time had now come. It abandoned Gollum, but something happened then the ring did not intend. It was picked up by the most unlikely creature imaginable, a hobbit, Bilbo Baggins of the Shire. For the time would soon come when hobbits would shape the fortunes of all. All right, do you still need me to keep talking? I could go through all of Bilbo's prologue. All right, I'll keep talking. Let's see. Hobbits have been living and farming in the forefarthings of the Shire for many hundreds of years, quite content to ignore and be ignored by the world of the big folk. Middle-earth, being after all full of strange creatures beyond count, hobbits must seem of little importance. Dang it. Neither great philosophers or... How does that line go? Okay, hang on. I forget this next line. I'll just skip ahead. In fact, it has been marked by some that hobbits' only real passion is for food. A rather unfair observation, as we have also developed a keen interest in the brewing of ales and the smoking of pipeweed. But where our hearts truly lie is in peace and quiet and good-tilled earth. For all hobbits share a love for things that grow. And yes, after all, our ways may seem quaint, but it has come home to me today of all days. It is no bad thing to celebrate a simple life. Yeah. All right. All right, do you still need me to keep talking while you're testing this live stream thing? Okay, let me think. What other speeches or stuff can I quote? Yeah, Aiden, text me if you want me to keep talking.